Good evening. Good evening.
What's going on, guys?
Fabio, like
timing or what?
perfect timing, Fabio. You just made it. Just made it, Fabio. Good evening, everybody. SAFL, we are back, live cast. Sorry we missed you last week, but things happen. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to try to cover a lot tonight, including the recap of some games. We'll do a little quick power rankings between us three. So maybe start writing your power rankings down, guys, and we'll discuss them. And then we'll do a little highlight reel from the AK Gators game. And then we'll do a little predictions. Yeah, this coming week. 8 games this coming week. So far, so good. Season's been good. There's been a couple of ups and downs in there. Unfortunately, we had to give some forfeits out, Fabio, to the team because of registration issues.
I know what that feels like.
What's that?
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, everyone's moving on. I think we're past that. Registration is now closed. So we're done with that. So if anyone wants to join in, talk to us tonight, Fabio sent out the link. We can talk and you can see what's on your mind and see if we're going to be on for a while, guys. So try to join us tonight. So, Adam, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing as good as ever. Surviving 2020. I'm glad I'm still here. PT's 4-0. I'm feeling good. A lot of good football is being played by a lot of good teams, and I'm just I'm hanging out. How about you guys? How you doing, Fabio?
Good, man. Doing well. We had a nice win this past week. Yash actually figured out how to throw a touchdown to me, which was shocking. But no, I always just busted chops. But shocking. We had a good time, good week. Browns got a good win this week. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard about it, so I'm happy for them. Especially like you were talking about Burhan. The unfortunate registration stuff. But again, it happened to a bunch of us, and we got to speak about the I would call it the matchup of the week, and a bit of a shocking result. Maybe to some not, but that's definitely something that I can't wait to talk about.
Something to talk about later on in the show. But while we're talking about recapping games and talking about the games, why don't we start talking about some of the games from this past weekend? Fabio, CK and Guardians. Final score was 49-12. I came a little late. I got a little chippy at the end, but it all settled down. Tell us about the game, the positives, the negatives from your team, their team, and where you see both these teams later on in the season.
Yeah, so I'll just say, man, I don't like to belabor a point or anything like that, or emphasize anything negative. I think we have a lot of competitive, enthusiastic guys in the league. Some are assertive, some are reactive in things, but none of these guys, including guys on my team, kind of will just stay quiet. We're just real energetic and really competitive just across the board. So sometimes you'll have that kind of feistiness, but I will say, I'll give a lot of credit to the guys from the Guardians. A lot of them came over and we, shook hands and we, just spoke to each other, and there were apologies on both sides just to, make sure that we were all on the same page. So, that's all good here. They are really good guys, and I wish them the best of luck. But yeah, it was a good game. This week, I would say maybe for the first week, wind was a factor, at least, in our game, and we tend to have the early game. So wind was a factor, and I remember, a couple of years back, just being quarterback. I mean, not that I had too many guys that could, that can do too much anyway, but wind was definitely a factor. So I remember that as a quarterback. Yash did a good job getting down the field against the wind. And then in second half, I think that we were able to just continue putting the pressure on offensively. And, those guys just couldn't really quite keep up with us. And we made some good defensive plays. So we ended up pulling away at the end. But they are a good team, athletic quarterback, right? The guy can run around and do some things with his legs. So, but it was a good game. And maybe we'll see them again in the playoffs. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. Just looking at some of the stats from that game, Fabio, you had your 3 receptions and a touchdown. Anthony had his touchdown. Earl had his couple catches. Fati, he's becoming one of the great players in this league. 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and then you had Yash, who threw for 7 touchdowns. Pretty impressive. We all know that from last year when Yash came in, he was going to be. And it was crazy actually. What's even crazier is that he went down week 1 last year, and that was such a scary situation. We didn't know if he was going to be okay, and look what happened. So props to you guys, props to the Guardians. Yusuf also had a pretty good day, but it just wasn't for them that day. So where do you see the Guardians at the end of the season?
I think that they're going to be right in the mix, man. I think that we have our tiers, right? I think everybody kind of has their tiers. I think they're somewhere in the middle of the pack, and they might be able to, surprise some people. Just because you have that wild card with that mobile, the mobile quarterback. That's Yusuf, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yusuf.
Yep. And that's always tough to defend, right? So you never know what can happen with that. But I think that they have some pieces, and they're gonna be, we are, Cobra Kai's looking. Cobra Kai's looking to be considered in that top tier this year. So, but we gotta win when it matters, and not to look too much ahead, but we have a tough one next week to see exactly where we stand. So, but I expect it to be this is going to be a fun season, man. With all these standings and all these games being mixed up, and some of the stuff that happened in registration, the standings may not reflect which the best team is at the end of this year. So that's going to be interesting.
I don't know about that one, but
except maybe prime time, right? Right. Well, those guys are definitely showing up, man. You guys are doing really well this year.
We'll get to prime time in a second. So I think the next game on the schedule, guys, if I'm not mistaken, was Wolfpack Bandits. Two kind of paradigms in terms of where teams are at. Bandits are rolling. I think they're undefeated. They have a lot of chemistry, a lot of veteran players who are young and athletic, and they have a good mix of that versus, like veterans who kind of know the league and know where they are on the field, things like that. And you have Wolfpack, who is looking to kind of get their own stride going. We got Jay here commenting. Bandits, yes, you're the Bandits QB. Shout out to you guys.
What's up, kid?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's got a lot of great weapons. Bandits are really playing well. So, Burr, if you can take us through the game, what happened this week and what's been happening this season? I know you guys had that blip against AK, but outside of that, it's been pretty smooth sailing for you guys. So if you could talk to us about, this past week along with the season so far.
First off, the 8K forfeit win for us, we still consider ourselves 3-1 and we play like that. And, it's unfortunate what happened with the AK because they play such a great game and they're such a great team. But other than that, yeah, in that game, actually, we and again, no, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but we were only playing with like 6 or 7 guys in the AK game. But it was just too much for us. They had their subs, fresh legs, so but that's the way the game happens, right? Like flag football. Ken Telesky always says to me that in the NFL, it's about who's not injured, and in the SAFL, it's about who shows up. So that's the way it kind of like flag football is. Anyway, yeah. So we've been playing well. Jason, we have a lot of our guys that came back from last year, a couple of new guys from this year, and our defense is looking good. We always have prided ourselves on good defense, solid defense. Whether it's man, zone, or a little bit of combination of both. We have D-Raj out there calling the shots on defense, Jason calling the shots on offense. So he's a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing out there. He had some beautiful throws on this past week. Even I had like a nice touchdown for on a fly route. So he hit me nice on that. Wolfpack, I mean,
Commissioner's touchdown week this week. Adam, did you get one, Adam, just to complete the
I
circle?
did not get a touchdown. I'm going to have to talk to Ricky about that. Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. But yeah, so but the Wolfpack, like they're a new team. I love their heart, love the motivation that they have going. They're a little short on people. They need more guys to show up. That will help them in the long run because you need fresh legs out there. I know everyone wants to play every single minute, but it's very tough to do that, especially going later into the season when it gets colder and it's just not. You need fresh legs. So look for them to try to get some guys. They have a full roster. They just need everyone to show up. And then going back to us a little bit, we played Wolfpack this week. Last week we played Savages. Another decisive victory for us, I thought. Again, the AK game and the Guardians game, they're a great team too. So we have some good wins. We have prime time this week. Adam, any secrets you want to share with me? No? Okay.
It's obvious, isn't it?
What?
It's just obvious. Shouldn't it be obvious at this point?
Well, we got to continue. No, we have special plans for you guys. All right, so we'll go from that. But yeah, so anyway, moving forward, Adam, the next game was Knights Browns. You were there for the game, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I'll talk about that a little bit. So it was the new look Browns. They were able to pick up Jesse Johnson, arguably the greatest receiver in Thunder history. And we were able to get him a quarterback who is consistent, has drawn up plays. And it was good to see the damage that he was able to do with Shu at the helm. That was a game that was something I was slightly emotionally vested in just because I know Jesse personally. He's been my teammate for a very long time. He stuck with us when we weren't that good. And it was nice to see him play with a QB with the pedigree of Shu. And look, the Browns obviously have struggled in the beginning of the season. They're a new look roster. They're trying to get things in order. And they were able to do that against the Knights this week. The defense looked stellar. And the offense looked more like the offense that we're used to seeing. I think Jesse had 2 touchdowns. I saw Everett doing his thing. I saw Jonathan do his thing. This is a talented roster with a lot of good players. And I think I said this before, but I thought week 4 was going to be the week that they really hit their stride. And that's what they were able to do. So kudos to the Browns for playing a good game. And I hope that what we saw this week is a sign of more things to come. On the Knight side of things, look, they're a good team. I mean, they've beat the teams that are lower on the totem pole so far in terms of power rankings for us. And what that tells me is that they're at least playing better than some of the weaker teams at the moment. So now the next step for them is whether or not they can start beating the tougher teams. And this week they ran into the Browns, who were, probably playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. But the Knights, look, they're athletic. They have good players. Their quarterback, Jordan, is I think, star in this league. He can run the ball. He can boogie, and he can throw the ball decisively. He gets it there quick with zip. I think as they start to figure out this league and they get used to the level of competition as they move out throughout the weeks, this is a team that can really make some noise. And he's another one of those QBs. I think we're starting to see it amongst some of our younger teams. These quarterbacks are running. That's, I guess, indicative of kind of what we see across many football leagues. But, this guy can run, he can throw, and they got the receivers to make it happen. And what I really like about them is their energy. They play with a nice chip on their shoulder, and they have camaraderie, and they support one another. I don't see them really bashing each other. So they play hard, they play tough, they play fast. I think they just ran into the wrong team at the wrong time, who was really motivated. But let's see where they pick it up. Good win for the Browns. Good wake-up call for the Knights, in my opinion.
Fabio, I don't think you were at the game, but I was at the game first half, and I actually thought it was going to be a lot closer, to be honest. From the way that the game started, but I left, I think, like second half, and then went from there. But anyway, we have a special guest today, Mr. Mohammed Solomon from the Panthers, formerly of the Thunder, and then formerly before that of the Bandits. So he's got 2 commissions on here that's been former teammates. And how you doing, Mo? How's everything?
Good, fellas. How about yourself?
Good. What's up,
Yeah,
Mo?
It's good to see you, Mo. So if I can say something about Mo before we dive into some of the stuff that he's got to talk about. Mo has been a co-captain of mine for the last 5 years. He's been one of my partners throughout this my tenure here. He's an incredible teammate. He's a really good player, scrappy, athletic. He shows up every week. He does his thing. He puts in the work. He never came out of shape. He played hurt. He did what was asked of him. He and I had a good camaraderie, good rapport. It hurts me to not be on his team this year. This is the first time since I was in the league that I'm not a teammate of his, but he's another one of those guys that I cheer for. So, as the Panthers kind of figure things out on their end, I'm looking forward to seeing him succeed. So I just wanted to say that about Mo, but Mo, it's good to see you. I know you haven't been on the field yet, but it's good to have you on today.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, Adam. Adam is one of the most talented players I've ever seen and I've ever played with. And he's great on and off the court. Like him and I are buddies. We've gotten to know each other quite well. And like I said, it's unfortunate though that we haven't had a winning season together. But I'm really, really happy that you're having a great season, man. You deserve it. You've put in the work yourself. You're a great player, like I said. Great person off the field, on the field as well. So I'm really happy to be on the call, and I'm surprised I'm here. I mean, I'm surprised that I'm on this call, so I'm excited to be on.
No, man, we're happy to have you. So, Mo, just if you could talk to us a little bit. I know you haven't been able to get to a game yet with your travels and whatnot, but if you can just talk to us just at a macro level about what's been going on in the league over the past few seasons, how the league has evolved. And in particular, what you think has evolved the most? Is it the community that we've created? Is it talent on the field? Is it the intensity of the games? What to you has really stuck out over the course of the last few years?
It has to be all of the above. I mean, the talent is ridiculous, to be honest with you. Like when I came to the league, I wanted to sort of measure like what my abilities against everyone else's. And then when I saw like the talent, I was like, whoa, like some of these guys are like really, really good. And it's just gotten better and better and better. I love the fact that, other teams like outside the league or other people outside the league know about the league and they want to join, they want to play. That's what I love. Like the competition, the level of competitiveness is incredible. You have a ton of athletes, you have a ton of great players. And I've been there since day one. You can ask Burhan now. I mean, I've been with him since day one, and I've seen the progression of teams and players, and it's just getting better and better. And it's interesting because the league is a mix of like young guys and older guys, and it looks like there's this new younger generation that's slowly taking over. So it's amazing to see.
Yeah, Mo, I agree with you. You and I have been doing this like I would say almost 10 years, close to it. And, from day one until today, I mean, we've come such a long way. No disrespect to the earlier teams, in the competition level and anything like that. But just, now it's just you're coming to see that, we're finding like the best players on Long Island coming and playing in this league. And, obviously we talked about like the relationships that are formed, which is probably the number one thing we try to do. And I think that, everyone has been, when we went to the Knicks game a couple years back, everyone got to go on the court, shoot a free throw. We just do different things. Everyone just gets cool with each other and then go out there and play football. And again, like 10 years running. So Mo, we really haven't seen you this year too much. So, tell us what's going on, where you've been, are you coming back? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I've been out of the country for like 3 months. I didn't expect to be out that long, but my wife and I decided to take on this opportunity, which may never come again, to just, go out and just explore the world. Went to Egypt, went to Istanbul, ate a lot, but I still kept myself in shape. Yeah, I mean, I'm with the Panthers. I just haven't played a game yet. I am going to come back on October 24th. We originally had a game on the 17th, but I think it got moved up on the 24th, which is now a doubleheader for us. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to coming back. Some of these guys I've already played with, Afnan, Kurt, Justin, a couple of other guys. So like I'm familiar with them. I'm excited to come back. I'm just gonna put in the work. I have 2 weeks to really like get myself into football shape, which is different than just being in just conventional shape. So yeah, I already started today, so I'm gonna come back strong, and we'll see what happens.
So Mo, you have an inside look at the Panthers right now. This is a team who we'll talk about the game against Primetime in a bit, but you know how they're doing right now. They're super talented. What do you think, from an insider's perspective, they're missing to get over that hump?
I think they're missing the camaraderie. I think there's a clear disconnect between the captains and the players. Now, I'm not putting blame on the captains because it's a new team, and and there's a lot of guys that were in and out of the lineup. I think a couple of the guys just started playing 2 weeks ago, so there's been too many faces in and out. There's no consistency. One of the most important things in this league is practice, and they haven't had the chance to really practice and explore and get to know each other's abilities. Like you said, Adam, there's a ton of talent on this team. We just haven't been able to put it together yet, and I think that's the main problem right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's something that I noticed. So the Primetime Panthers game, look, Panthers, we thought we were going to kind of steamroll them, and the score I don't think is as indicative of the type of game it was. I mean, it was a one possession, game at halftime. I mean, they came out and they punched us in the mouth. I think that was Yash sneezing, but they came out, they punched us in the mouth, but it was just new guys we hadn't seen before, and we made the adjustments that we needed to make, and we were able to capitalize on the mistakes that the Panthers did make. And I think you're absolutely right, Mo. And I think you coming back will bring a lot of that. You have veteran savvy on the field. You have experience, leading a team both offensively and defensively. So I think they're really missing that, and that's something that I think they look forward to having.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna bring what I bring. You've already, touched on that earlier during this webcast. I'm just gonna play my ass off. That's the only way I know how to play. So I'm hoping I can contribute to this team. But again, like it's a team effort. It's not just one person that's going to come in there and make a difference. We all have to be on the same page. We need to game plan better. We need to anticipate our opponent and understand our opponent better. So I think that's what I can bring because I know a lot of the guys in this league. I know a lot of the teams. I've been here for like almost 10 years, as Burhan said. So I think that's really important. I think that's what's missing on this team. Just that experience on how to game plan against other teams.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So look, guys, my week 4 prediction, Panthers are one of the teams that are going to catch heat late. They got Mo coming back. They got the talent that they need. They had a full roster this week outside of my man on the screen right now. I expect them to make some noise. Look out for them. Mo, before we let you go, any last words?
Look out for us in the second half of the season. We got a couple of guys coming. We're going to practice a lot. We have the time to do so. So we're going to come back strong, I promise.
All right. You guys heard it here first. Watch out for the Panthers. Wakanda forever. Thanks so much, Mo.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
So I will tell you what happened there. So just full disclosure, behind the scenes, the reason why you got that reaction from Yash is because he's allergic to losing teams, and you were just talking about a losing team. So
oh no.
So that's my boy, the quarterback of Cobra Kai. That's right. Where is he? Let's get him back. Let's get him on here. Where's my guy, Yash? There he is. Look at that. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Unmute yourself. Quarterback, the Cobra Kai QB. What's up, man?
He was sneezing because of the fact he was wearing that Knicks jersey.
Oh,
right?
No, maybe it's the Lucy on the jersey, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Yash?
How's everything, my friend?
Got me out of bed.
Love it.
That's what flag football does, man. That's what that's SAFL. We make people care. I don't know why people care so much.
I mean, I'm old, man. It's late for me. You guys are young.
Good.
Maybe I'm young, but I don't know about the rest of us.
Yeah, this is heading past my bedtime too, Yash. Don't worry, man. Trust me.
I had to get health insurance this week, so I don't know. That made me feel weird, but it's all right. I get what you guys are saying. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
so Yash, and so yeah, I'll say this about Yash. Yash has had the biggest impact on a team that I think I've ever seen. Cobra Kai won maybe one game the year before he jumped on, and then they were a perennial favorite ever since. I've had the pleasure of playing with him in a MetLife tournament once. He's a great QB, great leader on offense, throws, a great ball. So Yash, let's talk about Cobra Kai a little bit. And Fabio, please jump in. Can you guys talk about just the evolution of the team from just your first season to now? How have you guys become a juggernaut in this league?
Yeah, let me. I think we've introduced Yash enough, but I want to do it some more just because he's that valuable to our team. So, for those that don't really know, Burhan. I won't go into that story because but Burhan and I know each other, and we just fell in love. It was love at first sight. But really, I stepped in 2 years ago in the first week of that season, so it was that fast, and I try to scramble around and get everyone together as much as I can. I had not played football in probably almost 7 years or so. But long story short, trying to get everyone together. I'm a guy that can maybe throw a ball, but I'm definitely not a quarterback. But I did the best I could that first year with whoever I could find. And about 3-4 games into that season, I was able to pull Anthony in. Now, Anthony, as those of you know who he is, he's the skinny white guy on our team that talks too much. He happened to be playing in another league on Sunday, and when he heard about our league, he said, "Hey, we got to try to do whatever we can to try to improve this team." And then that's where Yash comes in. So Yash came in. He had told me about a guy that was a quarterback. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm obviously could be a pretty prideful guy. And I didn't have a really good season. I was looking forward to getting another chance with better athletes and better players to play quarterback again and just improve on stats. Let's put it this way. Multiple games the year that I played quarterback, I completely forgot that stats even mattered. So I'm just throwing it out there, winging it, and interception after interception, and I'm just trying to play. So this time I kind of had a bit of a purpose. But he told me about this guy named Yash. I said, you know what, let me meet the guy. We'll do a couple scrimmages. Let's see how it goes. And above everything else, he was a really great guy. He still is. And obviously he could throw the ball. And he's an actual quarterback. He knows how to read the field well. He's been doing it, at least it looks like, his whole life. So I kind of had to put my pride aside. And I wanted, for the betterment of making a team better, gave Yash that position of quarterback, or he's, let's say, earned it. And that's basically there, and that's where we are now. So Yash, I think the floor is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it takes a big man to step aside after just 1 year. And from what I heard, you guys had a tough first year regarding attendance and talent and so forth. So I'm definitely not going to take all the credit. I definitely brought some talent with me, to Cobra Kai, and I'm used to the guys that I brought. I played with them for years. Anthony wasn't even on my team on Sundays, but he knew I was SA, so I think that's a big reason also that he wanted to bring me in.
Right.
But I'm learning him. I'm learning Fabio. That's basically all we have left from the original Cobra Kai, I think, is you two, actually. And Alex, I've actually played with, but he's hurt, so he's a beast. I hope he can get his knee fixed and come back, because I'd love to have him also. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think this year our team is stronger than it was last year, and we started slow, myself included. The first time I went onto the field a couple of weeks ago, I forgot that it was such a smaller field than I'm used to. I play on a full field on Sunday, so it took some time for us to gel, but I think this last week we finally put a good full game together, offense and defense. So hopefully, that's for things to come. We got a tough matchup this week, so we're gonna have to play well, and we'll see where we go. But I like the talent we have now.
Yash, let me ask you. You seem like, because we talked a little bit about earlier about you and one of your receivers, Fati. Who I was saying that is becoming one of the really great players in this league. He's an aggressive guy, great hands, does what he needs to do. Where did you guys find your chemistry?
Fate I've known for probably almost 9 or 10 years now. He played on my team for, I would say, 2 or 3 seasons, and one season, the last season he played with me was probably 4 or 5 years ago. He shattered every single receiving record we had on Sunday League. I mean, he had he averaged like 15 to 16 receptions a game. And we were just clicked from the second that, he started playing with these, so much so that we were so dominant that they had to take him off of my team and put him on another team to help out another team. But
wow,
we just had chemistry. And again, until we played last year, we had him. It's been years since we played together, but with him and Joe Sudberg,
yeah,
just eye contact. I can call a play and then look at them, and we can audible just by looking at each other's eyes, and we know exactly what we're going to do. And that's, you can't teach that. That just takes time. It takes time with certain players. Those two, Joe, I've been playing now consecutively for about 6 years straight, and Fate, like I said, on and off about 4 or 5 years. So,
yeah.
it just takes time and a lot of games. And, it's not just during the seasons. In the summertime, Joe, Sud, and me for years now, he comes almost every week in the summertime whenever I play pickup, and he's there. So, I mean, we just have that connection that Fate also has it from before. But, that just takes time, and they're both very talented, very good, great players. They catch the ball. They're, Fate's more aggressive. Joe's more like silky smooth. That makes sense. But, these are just two guys that, I'll carry with me anywhere I go,
Right.
I trust them and they trust me.
Another question I have, well, first I want to make a statement, which is the semifinals game last year, CK versus Browns. In my eyes, probably one of the best games that I've ever watched. It was one of those games. It was just, back and forth, back and forth. A couple plays here and there, like the Earl. I think it was the Earl tip into someone's hands, and then the one of the last plays of the game that really sticks out in my mind was where it was. I mean, obviously, there's so many throws and everything in the game, but the one that sticks out was the one to Fati in the back corner flag route. A little overthrown, but it was, that basically almost ended the game. So that ended your season. So now, where do you see yourself this year? Do you see yourself in that game? Do you see yourself beating whoever is in that game? Because again, that game showed that you guys played unbelievable.
Yeah, I think this year, I think we're more talented this year. So, that game, I told the guys after we played, I didn't even care that we lost, but we just played our hearts out with what we had. We played our hearts out, starting with me. I almost felt numb after the game because I thought my guys played so well. They were battling out there last year, and, we had less talent last year. So where do I see us? I would be upset if we lost in that round this year. I see us as a better team. I see us as a team that should be able to contend with, the top teams in the league. In my opinion, are PT and AK and the Gators.
Bro. No.
No, we're not worried about them.
We're waiting for the chance to play some real teams before we put you guys up there. But
I like that.
PT, we had a 13-point lead against them last week. They came back, they won the game. They're a good team, and they're fast. And that's, I think, one thing that hurts us is we're not fast. We're very, I call us more possession guys, more, veterans and this and that. But speed kills, and unless we figure out a way to stop PT and the Gators' speed, I don't know how we're going to beat them. But I do consider us up there. Maybe a slight level down right now, but I think on any given day, if we play 10 times, I think one team's going to win 6 and one team's going to win 4. Okay. And me, that's the cream of the crop right now of the league, Gators and AK. So I really think if we play all 3 of those teams and we play 10 times, it's going to go 6-4 one way or the other. So we're almost there. In my opinion.
Yash, last point by me. It's not even a question. It's just another statement. Hopefully, you guys have any other questions for Yash. 13 games in the SAFL that you've played. You're a 75% completion average in those 13 games, 62 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Again, just a statement of your numbers. And I can't forget the one solo tackle that you have out there. But the numbers are again elite numbers. I love watching you out there every week, and then you hanging around the sideline chit chatting with me. And I just really want you guys to have a lot of success, especially the way that you're playing. And if you guys have any other questions for Mr. Yash tonight.
No, I mean, look, I said it before. I think Yash has had the biggest impact on any team that I've seen in this league. He's a great QB. He's a perennial MVP. I think every year you can make a case for him. And yeah, I agree. I think Cobra Kai is one of those teams that you got to watch out for, as the season rolls along, because they're going to hit their stride. And if you catch them on the wrong day, you're going to get bit.
There you go. This is what it should have been this whole time. Just to let you guys know where we're at right now. There it is. But yeah, I got to tell you. Go ahead, Burr. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, Mr. Yash. It was great to have you tonight. Thanks for getting out of bed and putting on a shirt for us.
No problem.
Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, where you guys will be taking on AK.
AK. This is
That's a big game for you guys. I know you guys have been looking forward to that. You guys want to play them, so that's awesome. And I wish you luck, my friend.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Yash.
All right, Yash. Take care.
Later, man.
Bye. Yash, guys, what a good guy.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. It's actually been a lot of fun to have him on the team these last 2 years. Like I said, and one of the things I told Anthony, when we talked about this was like, I want him obviously to be a good player, but I'm not looking to like step aside for like a douchebag. Like, oh, he's a great athlete, but he's a real prick on the field. Like, I'm not down with that kind of stuff, like. And Yash, he's a complete opposite. He's probably one of the nicest guys that I know. He's like a humble guy. He's not. He's a yeller to motivate, but he's not a yeller to put people down, and that's a big deal for me. And so I couldn't have asked for a better guy to come in and make the team improve. It also forces me to make sure that I stay in shape, which is nice because I'm playing some receiver now, which is good. So I look forward to more of the chemistry that him and I are going to be having together in the future, moving forward. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for him and for us as a team. So I'm glad he was able to come on tonight. Thanks again, Yash. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yash, once again. All right, guys. Before we had our guest, we were going through the recaps of the game. I just want to talk a little bit more about the game we didn't talk about, which was AK versus Gators. It was the game of the week. Again, a very lopsided victory by the Gators. It was very unexpected. I don't know. I just didn't. It didn't feel like the AK atmosphere. Whether that has anything to do with those forfeit wins, whatever, they were out there, they were playing. I don't know what the plan is with them. But again, it just didn't seem like them.
And if I can add on to that a bit, I mean, I think Amnitas, that was his first game back off of a stress fracture in his leg. And bro, I agree with you. It didn't feel like I was watching AK. It looked like I was watching AK after they just woken up from a nap or something. Like, it just didn't feel the same. Maybe they need to bring the Bulldog over or something. Or I don't know what they need to do, but they need to figure it out because that's not the AK we're used to seeing.
What about you, Fabio? How did you feel about that?
That game I did get to at least see the first half of, maybe a little bit more of that, and I agree. It just didn't seem like the same group of guys out there. I'm not sure, what the case was. Maybe they just were just not on it that day, whatever the case may be. But I don't want to take anything away from the Gators either, because the Gators looked really, really good. Their talent is, considerably deeper, because if those of you that were there, they didn't even have their starting quarterback for a couple of series in that game, maybe even almost the first half. And we were saying to each other, like, don't even put the original QB in. That's how good this backup was, Right. And not to say that the starter isn't good, because he obviously is, but that's how good the backup is. So, so that just shows you their how deep they are in talent. So the Gators are definitely going to be the team to look out for. Right alongside of with prime time. So that's going to be an exciting matchup. As a matter of fact, you guys, I got to look back at the schedule. You guys haven't played yet, right? I think you did.
We did play. We played them week 2. We won. So I got to say about that.
Yeah. That's good.
We have some highlight videos that I want to go into from the AK Gators game. So maybe we can We have about 4 or 5 videos from that, so let's get that going. This is the Gators QB passing to Ramy, and Ramy flips to Shady, and Shady takes it to the house on an excellent play. Again, QB Tommy to Ramy. Ramy does a little hook and ladder business over here, gives it to Shady, and our friend Shady Muhammad, he takes it to the house for a touchdown. That was a great play by him. We have a couple of other plays that I want to just talk about. Actually, just in this serial, one thing we always talk about is about how Ramy gets into the games with his woos and wahs and everything. Always excited, and gets his team going, man. He's that heart and soul of that team. So he's all around always really, really intense, really aggressive, but a gentleman on the field and off the field. So we have a couple more videos that I want to just show from that game. We have a couple of interceptions from Sims and then a couple other touchdowns from Rex. I really want to show that post route that Shady ran. That was I think we have that. Let's pull that up. This is it right here. You see Shady running a post pattern downfield. That speed, the speed is just incredible. Incredible, the speed. And you see the guy on the sideline with his hands up. Again, Shady post pattern, eyes on the ball, perfect pattern. I'm knee chasing him. We talked about the stress factor. Phil behind number 2. Shady taking it to the house. One more time.
And if you'll notice, AK is playing a zone defense, and they normally run man. So I wonder what the choice, or what went into the choice of switching up their defense. I think that's something we'll have to ask them about one of these days when they eventually jump on. But yeah, great post route from Shady. He's one of the quicker guys in the league, and if you don't play good safety on him, he's gonna make you pay.
Yeah, I gotta tell you too. And then, and those of you that don't know, that was their backup quarterback, and that kid threw it in perfect stride. Shady did not have to stop in any way. He just kept running, caught the ball, continued going. It was a perfect play on a perfect throw, and that's how they'll get you. That's one of the ways they'll get you. Was
it just me, or was the slow motion looking like he was in fast motion?
Well, that's what Shady does. Yeah.
We got a couple more videos, maybe 1 or 2 we'll go through. Just talk about the play. Let's see what we got here. We got Sims, Ramy, blitzing, and another pick by Tommy. Ramy with the blitz. And Harpaul looks like he's going to do it. Kenny looks like, but he gives up on it. Kenny, don't give up on it. And Tommy makes the pick. He makes the pick, and then he almost takes it down, but he goes right down. Another blitz by Ramy and another pick by Tommy. This one he will take to the house. He will basically jog it in. And uncharacteristically, Sims throws 3 interceptions in this game. Uncharacteristically, again, Tommy comes in, fights the receiver a little bit, and just gets it, and then takes it to the house. Ramy just standing there, doing a little dance. Whoop! There you go. Missed him. All right. Characteristic play by AK. It's just
yeah,
cats and dogs getting along. What is going on, guys? What is going on with AK?
It looks like they're not on the same page right now. I don't know what's going on. I have a suspicion that they might just be faking it a little bit. Maybe they want to make it hard on themselves. Maybe they want to scare somebody into shape when they run into them. But I have a feeling AK's still going to make noise when the time comes. The team's too good. They're too fast. They're too agile. They're too polished. They're too talented to be losing to the Gators like that.
Again, I think they took those 2 losses a little bit too hard on themselves. And whatever happens from now, again, they're the defending champs. And no one should ever take them lightly, however they played this past week, whatever the case was. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, they're going to be up there and defending that title. I guarantee it. Guaranteed it. And you can hear it right now. They will be guaranteeing defending that title this year. Guys, I just want to switch gears for 1 second before we go into our power rankings and then our prediction for the weekend. We're 45 minutes into the show. We'll probably end it in about when it's about 60 minutes. I just wanted to mention because a couple people had said that we were also in our softball playoffs this past weekend, and happened to be part of the Troopers team that played Saturday Night Lights. Our other member of the league, Anthony DePalma from the Cobra Kai, is on my team, and there's a couple other guys in the league that play in the softball league. But it was just an unbelievable game. It was 22-21, the final score. It was back and forth the whole game. We have one highlight video from the last series of the game, so I want to kind of just put that up to give a shout out to our SASL family and just promote them a little bit too. So we can get that going, and maybe I'll just talk about what was going on during.
Yeah, he would have been game.
No, one out.
It's 2 outs now. That would have been game. That would have been double play.
How many outs? How many outs? It's 1 out. It's 1 out. It's 1 out.
For real?
He was safe.
He was safe.
One out.
What happened to him?
Just a little discussion about the guy if was safe or not. What we got here is that we are bottom of the 7th.
So it's 1 out. They're down by 1.
We have 1 out. And
They're down 1 with 1 out.
Man on first.
One on first. Double
And
play.
yours truly is coming
Anthony's
up
pretty
to that.
fast.
And we have a
One out,
man
down
on
by
first,
1 out.
Anthony DePalma. This is the teammate. And I take a strike looking.
Oh, nice hit. Nice hit. Come on, Anthony, make it 3. No, keep the
And
force.
we go and I hit a double here. They did not keep the force, and you see the third baseman score. The man on third scoring because the outfield didn't hold the force, and then I get to second base. Now we have perennial player Adil Raz coming up, and he is in position to win the game. The run that just scored from Anthony put it in, tied the game up. So the guy at second is the winning run for the
baseball IQ.
Adil again, a original guy from the league. So this was a big moment for him.
You don't have to tell me.
And let's see what happens.
Just hold that shit. Just hold it.
And he hits it through the third and shortstop. I'm coming home on my horse, slide in, and we win the game. Woo!
Eddie.
What a game, what a game, what a game.
I told you.
It was a fun game. They left me on the floor, yeah, but it's all right. I'm used to that. It was a good game. Scooby Force, Empire, whatever you call them. They played a great game. Great game all around. So anyway, guys, that was a great game for the SASL. And let's end that clip now. So thanks for letting us share that. And hopefully, I know Fabio, you're finally getting into the softball league. Have you played any games yet?
Yeah, we played some games. I'm having a blast, man. I'm having a really good time. The circle of friends through this organization is only growing, and guys are just nicer and nicer, man. And it's been a really good time, really a lot of fun. my schedule didn't work out to play some games on Sunday mornings because of church, but now that they have this Sunday afternoon, it's less football, but it also means less sitting on my butt doing nothing on a Sunday. So it's great exercise. I'm having a really great time, so I appreciate that, and a great shout out, and to Ahmad, and that whole thing that he's got going over there with the other guys that run the softball league. It's a real good time.
Yeah, shout out to Anwar, the commissioner of the SAFL. Very, very tough job. It's a an unappreciated position, basically. Not a lot of people appreciate the job that he does, but I do, and I understand what he has to go through and dealing with a lot of people. But again, just go circling back to your comment about the friendships and everything, and it just it was funny again, like how we met and just like you strolling over and just just picking up a conversation with me. So that's awesome, guys. I want to move over to our last couple like more things. Power ranking. I'm going to give my power rankings, and it's going to just be a quick rundown of my list. So hopefully you guys have yours ready, and maybe we can just match them up. So number 1, I have PT. Prime time 4-0. Then I have. I just want to really say, like, prime time, with the acquisitions they made, Ricky, Keith, DJ, Q, and then the rest of the guys, really, and Adam, obviously, we talk about him all the time. I'm sick of talking about him. Guy Adam. Their defense is unbelievable, only letting up 72 points over 4 games and scoring 132. 4-0, and number 1 on my list. AK, number 2. And even though they're 0-3, I still put them at number 2 because they're the defending champs and they didn't look like themselves. And the first 2 games, even though they were losses, were wins in my eyes. But the record, it is. But they're number 2 in my power ranking. Gators, number 3. Gators are 3-1. Defense lockdown. Offense has been putting up numbers. One thing that does concern me always, Gators, is that their roster is a little small. Number 4, CK, Cobra Kai, 2-2. Defense, it's okay. Offense is very, very potent. So they put up a lot of numbers, and their defense, could be a little bit more locked down. That's why they're number 4 on my list. Number 5, I have the Bandits. Bandits are 4-0, even though they had a forfeit win against AK where they lost 53-6. I will say that even they're definitely right in the middle of the pack. I think number 5, it's a good spot for them. Number 6, I have the Knights. The Knights, they are 2-1. They lost a game against the Browns this week, and they didn't show up to play, but the first 2 games they did. They didn't have the same energy in the Browns game. Maybe it's because they know them. Maybe because they were a little intimidated. I don't know, but I'm going to put them at number 6. Number 7, I have the Browns. Nope, switch that. I'm switching it. I'm putting Browns at number 6 and Knights at number 7. So the Browns number 6, they beat the Knights. So I'm putting them ahead of them. Browns haven't looked like themselves all season, but this past week they surely did. Defense still can use a little work, and the offense hasn't put up a lot of numbers, but it's starting to look like they're starting to find some chemistry with each other. Number 8, I have the Panthers. The Panthers are 1-3. They have a win against AK from the forfeit, but they are still finding their chemistry. They still need a lot of work. Their defense is letting up a heck of a lot of points, 151 over 4 games, and only putting up 42 points in offensive numbers. They're number 8, and they're falling quick. Savage is number 9. They are 0-3. Had a bye week this past weekend. Again, their defense, not that great. They're not known for that. But, hopefully they can turn it around. Offense needs to put up more points, only 47 points over 4 games. And number 11, Wolfpack. Did I miss someone? I missed someone. I missed the Guardians, but no, I didn't. Wolfpack, last one on my list. Wolfpack, they are 0-3. Their defense, 140 points, basically last in the league and last in the league in points scored. And I missed somebody in there. I'm not sure who it was, but those are my teams. Those are my picks. Those are my power rankings for this week. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would agree with you for the most part. I think your assessment of the teams right now makes a lot of sense. I do think this might be biased, but I think Primetime's starting to separate themselves from the pack a bit. Look, we have the 3-headed monster. We go as they go. DJ, Rick, and Q lead us to the promised land. And I mean, that's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep taking their cues on, no pun intended, on what to do. I could talk all day about how good they are. But I would swap your ranking on AK and the Gators. And the reason I say that is because the Gators actually beat AK. And we'll see AK return to form. As of now, I think Gators deserve that number 2 spot. But I think everything else was pretty much sound. I think you might have missed the Guardians. I would put them somewhere in the middle of the pack, maybe towards the upper end of the middle of the pack. I really like them as a team. I think Yusuf is a rising star in this league. I think Squirrel is a star, and he's going to be a superstar in this league. So keep an eye out for them. Otherwise, I think
I missed the Guardians, and I do have them on my list. I had them under the Bandits.
Yeah, I think you had the Bandits at 5.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
Bandits.
So yeah, I would say Guardians at 6, but yeah, I think otherwise you had it spot on.
I think we're pretty much, we're around the same. I agree with I agree with Adam. I had it with the Gators taking the number 2 spot there over AK after last week's game, and
right.
And I have Cobra Kai rounding out the top 4. I think that that's where the tier is. I think you got that top 4. I think the Bandits are obviously right there. Just from last year, we beat the Bandits, but of course this year's another year, so we'll see what happens there. But I think that we're right above them, and I think that the Browns are starting to mesh. And I think that the Browns Bandits, I think, is going to be a very telling game on where the Browns are, and so I look forward to that. So as of right now, I have the Browns right below the Bandits, and then from there I have the Guardians at 7, the Knights at 8, Savages at 9, Panthers at 10, and Wolfpack at 11. So so that's what I'd be looking forward to, and that's what I have there, But it's gonna be fun, man. That's why I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I do believe that the playoff bracket, I'm actually really excited to see what that's gonna look like at the end of the year, because it's gonna be interesting. You already have. I don't think that AK lost as many games last year as they already have this year. They
haven't lost 3 games in a combination of like 5 years.
I mean, so imagine, whatever happens the rest of the way, imagine where that puts them in reference to like just the bracket. So that's going to be, real fun and real interesting. But I'm looking forward to this week, against them, and could very well be a little bit of a hangover, or they're just waiting for the playoffs, So
they're just stringing us all along.
Right.
All right, guys, we have a couple more minutes. The last thing I want to do tonight is just get your picks for this weekend. I'll say the matches, and then you give me a quick score, and then who wins. Knights, Savages. Adam?
I'm going to go Knights. I'm going to go Knights 21-14.
All right, Fabio?
That's like, for me, that's 8 versus 9 as of right now. And I'm going to give it to the experience. So I'm going to go with the Savages. And I'm going to say 28-21.
You know what? I'm going to actually go with the Savages too, with the same score. Okay, so we're done with that one. Okay, Guardians versus Wolfpack.
I'm going to go Guardians. Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
I think Guardians are going to walk away with this one. I don't think the Wolfpack is ready to take on the Guardians yet. I'm going to go Guardians 35, Wolfpack 6.
Fab?
I agree with Adam. I think the Guardians, just are better at this point. But I'm going to say it'll be more like a 20. I don't know. I like those 20s, and it's not easy to score sometimes. But I'll say 28-7. Guardians.
I'm gonna go 45-6.
Oh boy!
All right, AK versus CK.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be one of the games of the week. Look, I think this is one of the games you got to watch out for. but I think AK might continue to struggle a bit. I'm going to go Cobra Kai in a close one. I'm going to say Cobra Kai 34, AK 28.
No, you know.
Yeah.
This is going to be a test for us. I don't care what AK did last week. I see them as the champions. I think that they're going to come back. They're going to come back pretty hungry, and it's going to be a real test for us. But of course, call it a conflict of interest. I will not bet against my guys, and so I say that Cobra Kai comes on top on a real close game, 42-40.
All right. I am going to go with AK. Sorry, Fab. 35-27. All right. Browns versus Savages. Second game for them.
I think the Savages are just running into the wrong team at the wrong time. The Browns are finally hitting their stride. I continue to think the addition of Jesse is going to be something that pays dividends for them throughout the year. I think the Browns continue to roll. I'm going to go Browns 35, Savages 14.
Oh, that's funny, Adam. That's literally exactly the same score I put down.
Awesome.
Funny. But yep, I'm going with Shu. He's getting hot and he's starting to mesh with this team, and I think they're on their way up. So I'm going with the Browns with that same score.
Great. I have Browns and Savages 33-21. AK versus Wolfpack.
Yeah, this is not going to be the Wolfpack's week. I think AK is just going to come out, and I'd be surprised if it's a game by halftime. I'm going to say AK. Oh, geez. 42 Wolfpack 6.
Yeah, 49-12. I'll try to, give the Wolfpack maybe 2 touchdowns. But I doubt it. But I'll give him a little something. So 49-12.
I have 53-0.
It's probably more than what it might be. Yeah.
All right. Browns versus Guardians. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think this is another game to watch out for. I think the Guardians will sneak up on the Browns a bit here, but I still think the Browns eke out a win due to their experience, and particularly due to their size. I think the Guardians, while quick, they're not that big, and I'm expecting some bad weather on Saturday. So I'm going to go Browns 28, Guardians 12.
So, I agree with Adam. I think that, again, Shu's on his way up here. Guardians are good, and they have that quarterback that's mobile. But I think that the Browns just are going to have it together, and they're going to win a pretty close game. Again, I have these guys ranked 6 and 7, so I do think it's going to be a pretty close game. But I think the Browns will go on top, 27-20.
I have 27-21 Browns. But now that I'm thinking about it, the Guardians struggle. The one thing they struggle at is extra points. So I'm gonna keep it at 21. So, all right, prime time and the Knights.
Well, I guess I'll go first. Shouldn't surprise you guys who I'm going to pick here. Look, I've talked all day about Ricky, Q, and DJ. I got to give a shout out to the rest of the guys. Look, Wakas has 2 game-stealing interceptions this year. Waleed has been our most versatile defensive player, moving back and forth from keeper to cornerback. And Marion continues to ball out on both sides of the ball. I think it's a coming out party for one of them. I think one of them has a really strong game against the Knights. And I think we put this one to bed relatively quickly. I think we're going to cross 40 points here. I'm going to go primetime 42. I'm going to go Knights. I'll give them 14.
Mine is very similar. I have PT just too much to handle for the Knights, and I have them winning 49-6.
I have primetime 35 and the Knights 13. Bandits primetime.
Yeah, so I think you could argue this is the game of the week, right, guys? Perhaps between them and AK and CK. Look, obviously I'm going to go with my team again. I think Bandits will give us a little bit more of a test here, but I think this is a game that Ricky's really going to shine in. And, I see us winning, and pulling away at the end. I'm going to go primetime 35, Bandits 21.
These are those games, man, where you get to see some of the best athletes in the same field at the same time, and yeah, you too, Burhan. So that's always good to. I know, he's like, great. Trust me, I know the feeling.
Down this league right now.
No, but I'll tell you what, man, it's gonna be fun to see that matchup between D-Raj and your boy from PT. Those guys are just DJ, is it right?
Yes, that's right.
Those guys are they're just speed out there. So, so if they cancel each other out, let's say, for the most part, then what's going to happen, amongst the rest of the guys, maybe somebody else is going to have to step up. But, now I do also believe that Miguel might be back, and that's going to be shout out to my boy Miguel. He's going to look real good in a Cobra Kai jersey one day. But he can also, I could see him and Ricky kind of, canceling each other out there a little bit. So it's going to be a really good game. But I think that I'm going to give the edge to primetime on this one in a close game. And I will say that it will be 35-28 primetime.
I have Bandits 243 and primetime 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
If you talk about negative yardage or tears cried after the game, sure.
Yeah, so for the primetime Bandits game. So I'm assuming that's going to be a close game like that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys, everything that you do. It's just so much. I can't even start listing the stuff that you guys do that help the league out and help us grow, and just doing the right thing always, and not just doing what's best for your team. So and just doing what's best for the league. That's something that is always sorely needed, and it's not easy to find. So guys, any last words before we sign off for the night?
Well, it looks like, as you guys can see from our matchups, we're going into our doubleheader week this week, right? So that's going to be exciting and new. Something that we didn't do last year, that we don't do all that often. But I don't know about you guys, and I don't know about the guys that are listening, but I will tell you this. I give a lot of credit to you guys. Obviously, we all sit together and work on this, but specifically Adam, scheduling is not easy. But what we've been able to do, let's not forget, it's a COVID year, right? But not only have we been able to get a league going, Burhan, but also get you more games in one season in a short period of time. I mean, that says a lot, due to the hard work and effort that you guys put in, we put in. But I hope that these guys appreciate it. I think that they do. And I expect a great week. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of football, and I'm looking forward to it. So, thanks again, guys. You guys are always putting in the extra hours, and I know what it feels like too. So I just hope that these guys enjoy it and that we have a safe week this week and a lot of fun.
Adam?
Yeah, same sentiments here. I mean, look, both of you really have helped me out this year and putting me in a position to make the impacts that I wanted to. It's not easy work. It feels like every week something new comes up, but we're working hard to make this the best experience possible for everyone. So I want to shout out to both of you for handling the stuff that I don't handle so I can handle the stuff that I do handle. And I feel the same way. Hopefully it's appreciated. Let's keep the ball rolling on what should be a really good season.
All right, guys. SAFL Week 5 about to be taking off on Saturday, 10/17. First doubleheader weekend of the year, guys. Fabio, Adam, again, thank you so much. Thanks to our production crew for doing all the great things that they do. And we will see everyone next week. Signing off, this is...
Prime time.
Cobra Kai.
I'll be